This is Taryn Knoll with Twist Mesquite Performance Horses. Today we're doing a review with Jesse. This is a SJR Diamond Mist gelding that we have in training. He's right around 60 days with us at this point. We're just gonna go over where we are with him. Recently we've started stopping him two-handed, and so we're just kind of reviewing that and just kind of building and gradually getting better there. But we'll just get started with our kind of showing you our warm-up and kind of just ride him around a little bit, just kind of show where he's at. So right now I'm just working on our bending at a walk right here. I have my inside leg on him. I just want him to walk around this circle. When I put my foot on him and pick up on this rein, I want him to come in, get soft and kind of bend around my leg. And I get back to him. We'll continue to warm up doing this for a while. It's like I said, it's kind of important for the foundation of what we're doing. Foundation of turnaround. And it's helping him kind of follow his nose and use my legs. I use my legs to guide him either direction. So it's helping him follow that stuff. He's starting to guide really well. You know, we've taken him outside quite a bit in the last 2 weeks. Just taking him around trees and up and down canyons and just different things. You know, we've been aware of. Well, let's say we hadn't gone through too many canyons with him actually, just because it's been mostly open grass pasture and stuff with him. Just because I wanted to take him outside and get some. He's a little on the smaller side, so I want to be aware of those kind of things. What horse I'm riding whenever I take him somewhere, take him outside. You know, what I enjoy about being out here is I can take these horses outside and I can kind of pick and choose where I take them. You know, if it's rougher country, then we won't take some of these younger horses, smaller boned horses. But we can take them out on the grass pasture and ride them around out there, so it works out pretty well. So we're still working on our transitions, and so I'm gonna trot him around and then transition down back into this bend exercise. So I want him to get soft, kind of bend around my leg and come back into this circle here. And I'll walk around a couple circles and then we can go again. This works on our speed control, and it also works on them getting soft to me, coming back down to a walk. We've worked on quite a bit of this outside. When he's outside, he's a little more watchy, I would say, and that's just that cow horse blood in him, just paying attention to things, watching things, and he kind of calms down or docils out quite a bit here in the arena. Just because he's used to it, you know, he's used to it more. So, but that exercise there is really good for if a horse gets real fast, quick, especially these colts. I can work on this. I can do tons of these transitions, and I can slow their mind down, bring their mind back to me without having to yank on their face or try to slow, you know, kind of just sit there in their mouth. I can do this, and I can keep that horse soft and get into his mind and slow his body down and slow his mind down, where he starts thinking about me again and thinking about getting soft. So he's traveling out a lot better. That taking the horse outside really helps that, because they kind of figure out how to get up and go somewhere, and it picks energy up in their feet. So if probably in our last video, I kind of had to, sometimes I'd kind of have to spank him a little bit, because he's kind of being lazy or not getting off my feet, not moving forward. And now we can pretty much just put my legs on him and ask him to move forward, and I don't have to cluck or smooch at him at all. And I certainly don't have to spank him to move out. So taking him outside really helps mature him, helps get him moving out. But here he's kind of just sticking his nose up in there, and attention, stayed with him until he got soft too. I'm just kind of steering him around some. I'll put him back on that straight line. If I steer him, I'll pick this rein up against the direction I want to go, and just kind of drive him back over there with my outside foot. You know, a lot of these bending at a walk and these bending transitions, it gets the horse thinking about getting round and kind of wrapping around my inside leg. And so when you are steering them around, they kind of get that arc to them, and it puts them in a position where you can have them in that athletic position to stop, turn around later on. But this is just kind of that foundation of that. So whenever he travels straight, and then I'll pick him up, ask him to go that direction, I'll follow through with my other leg. Travels really well. We started this stopping him two-handed, so I'm simply going to pick up on those reins. I'll show you again, but I'm going to pick up on those reins, take my feet off of him, and then as soon as he gives his face, as soon as he stops his feet and gets soft to my hands, then I let him go, and then I'll flex him. So it's just reminding him, the flexing is just reminding him of getting soft to that bit, side to side, because the softer they are through, side to side, then the softer they will be vertically there. And so this is kind of how we're stopping him. So, my feet are on him. We're asking him to move forward. And as soon as I ask him to stop, I'm take my feet off, pick up on these reins, wait till he gets soft in my hands, right there. I'll give his face back to him, drop the reins, and I'll flex him. And so I've taught it, started teaching it at that walk, and then hadn't done it at a lope yet. Just I wanted to get it good at a walk, and a trot, and then at that lope. But all this stuff is methodical. It's step by step, and really helps these horses understand. And it takes some time, takes a little bit of time, but once it's on there, that's the foundation those horses have. So again, we'll just stop, pick up on those reins, there. And as we go, I'm not looking for his head to be low. I'm looking for him to give to my reins. because those are two different things, because they can have their head low, but pushing into those reins. And what that's going to hinder about your balance and your stop, because the horse starts doing that. They start pushing into those reins. Their head may be low, but their balance and their weight are going to be on this front end. And so especially any kind of turnaround or any kind of cow work or anything, we want their weight to be up behind, and we want their butt driving forward, and so their weight being shifting backwards rather than their weight being in the front pushing into that bit. And so we want to be cognizant of that. You know, I'm not looking for him to have, he's going to be low-headed. I mean, he's just naturally kind of carries his head that way, and it's real and very balanced, but I'm looking for him to be soft to my reins rather than low-headed. So like right there, as soon as he gave, see right there, he's just pushing into that bit. So I'm gonna bump him off of it, pick up on this rein, and I need him to come back to that rein and follow that feel. I'm gonna bump until he comes to it. There, that side was better. See right there, he's pushing into it. I'm gonna bump him off of it. But he's starting to steer around. See, I just had my outside leg on him, and I just asked him to move through there. That was good. That's the start of, you know, I'm kind of moving this front end, is when I can. It's like right there, he just kind of moved his front end and went back through that turn. So he's figuring all that stuff out just simply from us kind of riding him around and largely taking him outside, and him having to follow my direction and kind of guide through certain obstacles and things like that. And that's really helped free that front end up to follow that nose when I ask him to. So again, I take my feet off, wait for him to get soft to my reins. Kind of pushing down on it, so I'm bumping him off of it. So eventually it'll get to where I pick up on these reins, he gives to those reins, and then he'll give side to side without ever, you know, pushing to those reins, or there's no delay. You know, I mean, he can get soft, he can come here and get soft, and then he can come here with no delay. And we'll just continue to work on it, because that way, I mean, once we have that, then you can put this horse's head and keep him up here balanced in your hands, and you can put his head any place and any direction, take him any direction. Like where, you know, say you're working a cow, or you need to kind of guide his head and help him in a turnaround, or any of that kind of stuff. He's getting his head working softly and independent, head, neck independent from the rest of his body, is going to help us add that style to whatever we're doing. Even if it's simply ranch work, or even simply just trail riding, any of that kind of stuff. When you have a horse good and broke through his body, you can put that horse where you need to in any situation. You know, even there's times when, even if you're opening and closing the gate, well, and you're up there in the corner, and that gate's up there in the corner, and you kind of need that horse to push up in there and push his body up into that gate, and his head and neck are going to be bent just to be able to get into there. And so what we're working on right here is very important to do that. See, my hands direct his head and neck, and kind of guide the ship, and then my feet are telling the body where to be, what to do. They're up. My feet are also encouraging forward movement, and it encourages backwards movement when we teach this horse how to back up, and my feet will also encourage each body part to work independently and then work together in order to achieve the goal we have for this horse. So going forward, where we are now, we're going to continue to, at this point, we're not going to do a one rein stop. We have the option, we can do a one rein stop with him, but at this point, we're largely just going to stop him two-handed, and then we're going to continue to work on some different body control stuff going forward this week. And then now that we're kind of getting a good stop on him, we're going to start teaching him the backup, and then we're going to combine the two. We're going to combine that stop and backup all together, and so that's going to encourage this horse. He's going to start stopping, and then we're going to encourage him to back up a couple steps after we teach him the backup, and then at that point, it's going to help that stop. It's going to encourage that horse every time he stops to kind of to drive up under himself a little bit, because he's going to be thinking about, okay, every time I stop, I need to back up and get a couple steps. And it's good for a horse that is just going to have a reining foundation, a ranch horse, or if we're going to take him the cow horse route, that's a thing that the owner of this horse is still considering, just thinking about. And as we develop this horse and take this horse on, we'll kind of be able to tell where this horse's talents lie and help him make that decision. But overall, I'm very impressed with this horse. He's come a long ways. He's wanting to be soft. He's wanting to be pretty athletic, and I think he definitely can have a lot of cow to him. He's probably going to have a lot of cow to him, just from taking him outside and how he's watching and paying attention to everything. And he's just very catty. He's got a lot of catty moments, and just watching him, being around him. So anyway, so that's kind of where we are with him, our overview with him, and then what to expect going forward. So that'll be it for this video. We'll catch you on the next one.